This is a demonstration on recording an audio podcast at Podomatic.com. I previously created a new account choosing the basic service at Podomatic.com. I've logged into Podomatic.com and now I can record a podcast by choosing the My Podcast menu and selecting Post an Episode. I'll name this new episode My First Podcast. I have options to add a description if I'd like, and I'll click on Save and Continue. I get a new page that gives me options to either upload an audio file that I may have recorded on my computer using software on my computer. As long as the file is saved in an audio format that Podomatic understands, you'll be able to upload it into your media library here in Podomatic.com and use it as a podcast. One such standard format is MP3. If you've previously uploaded one of those types of files into your media library here, you can choose this option. But our option today will be to record a new audio podcast using our webcam on our computer or our microphone on our computer. So it's important your desktop or your laptop have a webcam or microphone that is activated to record. I'll click on that option. I get a very simple interface and I choose the record button. If I do this the first time, you'll see that I get a little prompt that asks me to allow this Adobe Flash Player plugin to do its job. Basically, it's taking over control from the web browser, but it needs you to allow it to take control. So I'll click on that button now. In a moment, you'll see a numeric readout that indicates the duration of my audio podcast. For now, it's a few seconds long. And I also see a green bar indicating the volume of my voice, which seems to be peaking in the red here, meaning it's a little too loud at times. So I need to kind of tone it down and allow just the green bar to make it over about a third or halfway over. And when I'm happy with the recording I'm trying to capture, I can click on Stop Recording here. And I can preview that if I'd like, or I can choose Use Recording, which is what I'm going to do now. Clicking on this button here actually feeds back this Save Complete feedback, letting me know that that file has been saved, that audio file. I can re-record if I'd like, or choose to record video in addition, but I'm going to click on Save and Continue instead. And then if I'd like to have a photo attached to this podcast, so when someone reviews it, they'll see the photo, I can upload one here. I can select one from my media library if I have previously uploaded it here, or I can just skip this step, which I'm going to do and you can do as well. I would add any keywords here as tags if I want this to be findable on the web, where someone might be searching for something related to the content of my podcast. In this case, I'm going to leave it blank. If for any reason you feel like you might post your podcast to iTunes, you'll also need to select one of the three options here for the type of content, meaning explicit language, clean language, or not specified by choosing none. Let's choose none and click Save and Continue. This is sort of a summary of what will happen once I choose to publish this. You'll see up here it's indicated as it's a draft. I can choose to publish this now at a later date or just save it as a draft for now. And if I scroll down, I've chosen Publish Now. I scroll down, I can click on this Save and Continue button. And you'll see up here it says Performing Format Conversion. It doesn't take very long if your audio podcast is not very long in duration. The longer it is, the bigger the file size, and the longer it does take to convert. And to see whether it is finished converting, you can click on this link here that refreshes the page. And if it is in fact finished converting, you'll get this page where it indicates published, and you have options for promoting it now. You can email it to contacts in your address book, which I do not recommend because those addresses are fed into Podomatic.com and there are some privacy issues related with sharing email addresses. You can also publish it to a social network if you have an account with any of these. Bookmark it, embed it as a little player on a web page, or just view the episode page, the page that would be seen if somebody did click to see this, to hear this. I'm going to click on that now, view episode page. And this is the page someone would see when they visit this site.
In a moment, you'll see a numeric readout.
I'm just going to lower that. This is the recording I just created moments ago. And I'm going to pause it for a moment. And someone visiting this page would be able to add a comment here and post it to my podcast. For them to be able to visit this page, however, I would have to provide a website link. And that can be found here on the right in the link field. And you'll notice if I just click in that field, all of a sudden the website link in there is highlighted, and that's done so I can copy it. And to copy it, I would press the Control key and the C key on a Windows PC keyboard, or the Command key and the C key on a Mac keyboard. So I'm going to do that now. I've copied it, and then I'm going to paste it in to a discussion post in eCollege where I need to share this podcast with others. So I have eCollege open here in another web browser window. I have a discussion page showing, and I'm going to click on the respond link as I normally would when responding to a discussion prompt. In doing that, a text window appears, a visual editor, where I can add a subject line, my first podcast. I'll add some text to give this some context for what I'm going to insert here. Listen to my first podcast for this assignment and give me your feedback. I'll hit return a couple times, and I'm not going to just paste that website link that I copied a moment ago. Instead, I'm going to hover over and click on this hyperlink icon, the little globe with the link. It's called Add a Link. I'm going to click on that once, and a new window appears with two fields. One is a text to display field where I can add a label. I'll just type in my first podcast for this label. And I'll highlight the website address field. I'll highlight what's there and then paste in the website link that I copied from Podomatic a moment ago. And to paste, the keyboard shortcut on a Windows PC keyboard is Control V as in Victor. On a Mac keyboard, it is Command V as in Victor. So I've pasted that in here, that entire link that I copied from Podomatic, and I'll click on the Add Link button. And back in my discussion text window, you'll actually see that it shows up as a blue hyperlink text. And I'm not going to click on it just yet because this post is not yet done or saved until I click on the Post Response button down here. Clicking on that enters the post into this discussion page and turns that My First Podcast label into a link that I can click, and you'll see it brings me to this page where my podcast exists. It allows me, if I'd like, to enter comments and post them here. So that's it. It's that simple. I'll close this window in Podomatic, and you can see back in eCollege my post exists as a hyperlink. That's how you can share audio podcasts in eCollege.